Mahonies. Welcome for another True Crime Thursday. I'm your host, Malin, and I'm here with some special guests. First, we got
Naomi.
Next, we got
Carmen.
And today, they're joining us, Cheese Mahonies, to talk about another case. Today, we're going to be talking about the Netflix film, The Trial of Chicago 7, which was released in 2020 and is based off of the true case that happened in 1968 surrounding the anti-Vietnam protesters that protested at the Democratic National Convention in 1968, and this movie is based on this trial that happened in 1969 and took many months. We're going to be talking about how this case ties into the Canadian Charter of Rights, and we're going to see if this trial was a truly fair trial or if they were met with unfair things. Now Naomi's going to take you into some background on the film and some quotes.
So, the mentioned director, Aaron Sorkin, and his style, fast dialogue, moral questions, and political drama, right? Now, I'm gonna introduce you guys to the main character. First of all, we got Abby Hoffman. Then we got Fine Man, Tom Hayden. Then we got Bobby Seale. Seale? Yeah. Jerry Breppen. And then we got a lawyer, William So, I'm gonna open the discussion with a quote by Tom Hayden. I love that guy. We are not going to jail because of what we did. We are going to jail. Oh, sorry, this is my mic. Because of who we are. Okay? And it means, shows how the trial was less about actual crimes and more about silence and political opposition. That is not okay. Okay. Carlos, so what do you think of the quote?
I think in the film it is true that they were going to jail because of who they were, and that was very unfair.
Okay, now Malin, what do you think of the quote?
I mean, honestly, when I first heard Tom Hayden say it in the film, I felt like it was really true. Like, they were just getting attacked for who they were and what they believed in, because they were against what the government was trying to push, which was people to enlist in the war and fight Vietnam, when in reality, a lot of people didn't want to do that. They're basically sacrificing their life for a war that they don't even find like purpose in fighting. So I think it was true that they were getting attacked for that, since the government wanted to send kind of an example by like showing like, oh, if you're against this ideology that we like, that you're gonna go to jail. Basically, is what they're trying to do. Naomi, you have a thought?
Yes, I do. Now listen, I know that was back in the days, but now it brings me to an idea like I mentioned before. Trump is doing this. Yo, I swear to God, he is silencing, he's bullying people. He's bullying people into censorship. He's bullying people into silencing themselves so that they won't go against them. Do you think I'm not gonna smoke my... He's deporting people back to other countries that are not even where they were born. Forgot this, I'm like... And back in the movie, it is true, like, what they're like protesting about is like actually like, why would people go for a war that they don't like, that they're not like related to? Do you know what I mean? Like, you can ask people if they want to join the war. You don't have to like force them into it, because then it's gonna like give them a lot of mental like problems after they come back. They're gonna be like they're gonna see so many stuff that they don't even need to see. I don't know if I'm making sense, but you know what?
You're making sense. I understand. They're gonna get traumatized for life.
Yeah, exactly.
Life training.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to bring out of my heart. You know, I'm just talking with my heart. I'm not talking with my head. I'm talking with my heart. If it doesn't make sense, it's because like I'm not translating it. But like, listen, Trump, stop that. I'm gonna protest against you. Who wants a mic? Mic drop.
Going off the quote that we said earlier, how they were attacking of who they were as people instead of what they're like doing, I also want to call into kind of one of our points, which is protest versus power, which was, I feel like a good chunk of the film was, actually I think most of the film was kind of based on this, like how their protest was kind of taken way harsher than what they did, because the power, as in the government, was trying to make it a bigger deal than what it was. And another quote, he's kind of saying, as Abby Hoffman, he was quite a jokester in the courtroom. I think most of us will remember that. He made plenty of jokes. One of the things he said was, "This is the Academy Awards of Protests, and it's an honor just to be nominated." where he's kind of just making fun and saying this is just a joke. It's like a theater production. It's like not even a real trial. Like they're not even getting treated like fairly. They're just being treated as like a theatrical production. Naomi, what do you think about that quote?
I think that in the movie we could see how the jury was like over like ruling his power. Like he was like
Overstepping.
The judge? You mean
the judge,
Mhm.
sorry, the
Yes,
jury
yes, yes.
judge, was like if it wasn't his way, then he would not hear anybody else. Like they were like the 7 people that were there, like the protesters that they were there, they were not getting like they were not being listened. Like they were just making fun of. Like they were just made fun of. Like they were just a joke to the jury. Like he like was just there for like presence and because he had to be there because it was his job. But like you could see that he really didn't care or he didn't want to listen to them. Like how like Hoffman said that it's actually true. Like he felt like he was just like being a jerk to like the people in the courtroom. What do you think about it?
I think that what you said is true. They're being like people that he was addressing to were being like treated as a joke, and it was not okay.
Don't treat people like joke.
Another point in the film is racism and injustice. Bobby Seale's treatment, he was gagged and chained in court. A quote by William Kunstler is, "He was bound and gagged in an American courtroom." So this means that it's very symbolic of how systemic racism silences black people's voices, even in supposed justice systems. What do you think about that, guys?
I think that what the courtroom did to Bobby, that was like actually crazy. Like he just trying to talk, like he's trying to like explain his feelings, and like the jury like wouldn't even like let him talk. Like it doesn't matter if he doesn't have a lawyer or anything. Like you need to listen to him. Like he's a person, like he has a voice, and that's like one of his like freedoms. That he can talk and express himself no matter where. But it's like the jury instead sent Bobby to get gagged and chained, which it wasn't okay, and it was like completely racist because the jury was white and Bobby was black. So, and it was back in the day, like back in the time where like people were super racist to like black people. So like, it's literally racism. What do you think, Bailey?
I mean, when I first saw the film in the movie, I thought it was crazy since it had been like there had been like years had been passed since like all of these like racist like laws had been like getting rid of, and they were still treating people of color like this, like bounding them and gagging them on the courtroom, which is insane. And they kept they never really honored his right to represent himself because, as we all know, one of the laws, I'm not sure if it's in the Canadian Charter, I think it is, where you have the right to represent yourself in a court of law. And every time he would bring this up, they would always just, like shut him down and say, no, you're not allowed, even though it's one of his rights as a person to be able to represent himself and be able to choose his own representation. He was never allowed, and instead they would just treat him like garbage, which I thought was very horrible. Next, we're gonna go into our third point, which is the power of the courtroom as a stage. We witnessed through the whole movie, or more like their trial, how they use the courtroom as
Ladybug.
where? Oh, it's
I
the
think
sorry.
it's doing here.
Okay, we need to continue with our podcast.
I'm scared of it.
That's so cute. Okay, let me continue talking. No, that's my baby. Okay, let's continue. So one of the quotes that we noted down for this point was one of the chants that the ladybug was one of the chants that the crowd was saying, which was, "The whole world is watching." I thought that was so impactful to really be saying the whole world is watching, because the whole world was watching.
I wasn't.
So stop. During this trial, everyone was watching it on their TVs. We saw countless clips. They were pulling up in different TV shows. They were having comedy specials. They were doing TV interviews because the whole world was watching them and what was happening to them. So I thought the whole chant of them saying, the whole world is watching, 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 the whole world is watching.
You know, this big comedy.
Hey, we're not done?
Comedy.
Which, I mean, they're kind of saying, like, this whole trial was, I feel like it also served as a form of protest, since they were, don't kill it.
I'm giving him a
It's my
massage.
baby. I'm gonna put it anyway. I really found it so impactful of how they were saying the whole world is watching, because the whole world was watching. They were watching their actions, what they were doing, what they were saying. And I feel like it also served as a form of protest, since even though they were on trial for a protest,
They're just Protestants?
Holy forehead, right?
even though they're on trial, even though they were on trial for a protest.
Protestant is a
Stop!
religion. Protestant is a religion.
I didn't say Protestant.
You said Protestants.
Protesting. Please, bro. I'm just gonna keep this in. I don't even care anymore. This is a real podcast. This is what happens.
Dialogue.
Basically, the whole trial was kind of served as a protest because even though they were on trial for protesting the Vietnam War, when they were on trial, they were using it as a form of where'd the label go? They use it as a form of they use it as a form of protesting Vietnam, and they still stood up for their points and their opinions, even though they were on trial for it. Okay, Naomi, what do you think about that?
Wait, no, it actually is it.
Naomi, it's okay.
I think that the meaning of the quote is that protest is a protesting reminder that justice isn't private, right? That it's being watched globally. That's obviously saying the quote, right? But it discussed. Guys, I'm actually thinking about it, but discuss how media attention. What?
Scarlet's face, bro. Wait. Okay.
Discuss how media attention shape public opinion and inspire social movements. Right? What do you have to say about that? Wow, guys.
Carmen has no thoughts on this except to wow, because she just blew her mind.
It's too much for her little mind.
Too much information.
For her little mind to like capture. You know what I mean? To get me?
Yeah.
Okay. Last
I
point.
used to
Our final point in this podcast that we're gonna talk about.
It's truth, patriotism, and rebellion. Right? There's a quote. It's a quote that was said by Abby Hoffman. You don't get to tell us when to protest and what to protest. Meaning, true democracy allows dissent, government, and government control of protest contradicts freedom. No, government control of protest contradicts freedom. Sorry. It kind of shows how the movie balances comedy, emotion, and political urgency. What's that about that?
The truth, patriotism.
You don't need to tell us what to protest or when to protest.
I mean, I feel like it was really important for them to rebel since they were basically fighting a war that they didn't want to take any part in. They didn't stand for it, and they didn't believe in what they were doing. So their protests served as a form of true patriotism, even though what the government was trying to tell them was, no, you need to fight this war. You're Americans. You need to fight. They're standing up for their own rights and what they believe in, and saying, no, we're not gonna fight. So they rebelled and stood up for what was right.
Damn right.
Carmen, what do you think?
I think it's very important to stand up for your rights because if you don't, you're gonna get stepped on.
Like a bug. Like that bug that's somewhere around here. Okay.
So now we're going to revisit our 4 points, which was protest versus power, racism and injustice, very prevalent, the power of the courtroom, especially as a stage to be showing rebellion, and our last point, which was patriotism and rebellion. We found all of these points to be really important to the film, and especially what the film was trying to convey. which was, in my opinion, we can all go into our own opinions, but in my opinion, I felt like it was kind of showing like it's important to stand up for what you believe in, even if you're gonna get in trouble or go through things.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think?
I think that this movie really showed how back in the time people of race and like different like beliefs were not being heard because of the government, and like they thought that control could outdo or like yeah, like outrun the people. It's like of the governance or like of the city that they've got. What's your opinion?
I found it was very enlightening and it was very important. All the 4 things. I found the racism one very important because it still to this day it still happens. Very subtly, but it still happens.
I also have one closing quote to say for the podcast. Tom Hayden said, "Give them a list of the 4,700 names. The meaning is the names of soldiers who died in Vietnam, ending the film with a moral reminder that justice isn't about winning a trial, but about fighting for human rights." Oh, from human lives, sorry.
Now, a final thought to our viewers. Would you do what the Chicago 7 did, or would you stand by and watch?
Would you stand for your voice, for your thoughts, for what you believe? Would you?
Okay. Goodbye, Cheese Mahonies.
Bye, Cheese
Thank you for another True Crime Thursday.
Bye, gang gang.